Hello, everyone. It's Garcia from Two Old Heads talking about important stuff. Today, we're going to be interviewing Johnson as he is a Batman aficionado and he's going to be answering some questions for us about all things Batman.
I will try.
Yes. So, basically, what we're going to do is dive into three questions that really get to the core of Batman and just kind of get your perspective on it. I may interject every once in a while. But you definitely know more about Batman than I do since I'm a Marvel girl. It's okay. All right. So, first things first. What makes Batman a hero and not a vigilante?
Well, I guess if we're gonna start, like, just dive right into it. So, by definition, a vigilante is somebody who takes the law into their own hands
Uh-huh.
because the law enforcement agencies available are seemingly inadequate. So, whether it's a single person or somebody as a member of a group, they decide that they're going to do something to add to that. So obviously, Batman is a vigilante, but he's also a hero. So I think people try to make him one or the other when in fact he's both. Because you can be both. A vigilante can be a hero. It's all perspective, right? He's both. Um, Hero is somebody who is courageous and noble and admired for their achievements and accomplishments. So within the context of the world that he comes from, Gotham City and everything that goes on in that city, especially for those of you that know Batman and know Gotham PD, even if you just look at the movies without reading the comics, Gotham PD is corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
So he is a hero because of his vigilantism.
Okay. So it's not an either or, but an and.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's both.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. So does the fact that Batman does not have superpowers make him more or less of a superhero?
Well, from my standpoint, I think it makes him more of a superhero
Hmm.
because there is a level of relatability that he possesses that most superheroes do not. Like once you get past the fact that he is rich, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every aspect of his psychology is something that any reader or watcher can relate to. He's a normal guy. He was a normal kid. He was out with mom and dad, and then something tragic happened, and it scarred him.
Yeah.
Right? Like, now, regardless of anything else, we can all see that as believable. We can all relate to that. There are some people that actually had that happen to them. So they can look at Batman and say, okay, I get it. I can see why that will cause you severe PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
But from that standpoint, and I lost my train of thought. Um,
So to you, because of all those things, the relatability, that makes him more of a superhero than, say,
because,
like Superman or somebody. If we're gonna go stick with DC.
well, whether it's DC or Marvel, when you look at what he does, for him to be able to do it, and his his beginnings and his origins fuel his accomplishments.
Okay.
But at the same time, what Batman does on a regular basis, for as long as he's been in existence, what Batman does on a regular basis takes a certain it takes a certain level of strength. It takes a superhero level of strength
Mm.
because we can't legislate. We can't really determine how something affects someone.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of people in this world who have seen their parents die and they go on to live happy, normal, quote unquote, normal lives.
Yeah.
Other people, it destroys them completely.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people absolutely lose their mind because somebody wiped out their PS4 account.
Yeah.
Right? So everybody is affected by trauma differently.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, his trauma was severe.
Yeah.
But his ability to overcome it the way he did and turn that, I guess, into a positive.
Yeah.
However you want to deem it. What he does is positive, even if you want to argue the way he does it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he is about saving lives. He's about restoring order. Now, if you want to throw vengeance in there, okay, there's a high level, there's a high degree of vengeance attached to why he does what he does. But the byproduct and his consistent desire to stay along that line. This is why I'm doing it. This is what I want from it. Which is why he doesn't kill. Which is why he doesn't use guns.
Yeah.
That going all the way back to his origins. He can't stand guns for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
It's what took his parents. Killing. His parents died. So his ability to overcome that origin and still find a positive outlook for it, I think, is way more superhero-ish in its magnitude than a Kryptonian whose powers are magnified because he's on Earth and gravity is different.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is even though he doesn't have like a superpower per se, like his spirit and his psychology, those are his superpowers because they allow him not only to endure the things that happened to him in the past, but continue to endure and strive and also hold to his own morals.
I would say his greatest superpower, more so than size, speed, strength, his greatest superpower is his indelible human spirit.
Okay. Well, that definitely makes sense.
Right.
So in thinking about that, brings us to our final question, which is how does Batman's relationship with the Joker shape the type of hero that he is? Because everyone knows the Joker is his absolute arch nemesis.
The Joker, right, and I've never really delved deeply into his psychology, but the Joker is simultaneously Batman's duplicate and his antithesis, right? He is just like Batman. Like he's torn, especially if you really go into his origins.
Yeah.
He is torn, he's split, he's all of these, he's these multiple personalities.
He's what Batman could have been, you think?
I would say he's what Batman is.
Oh, really?
He is what Batman is, just applied differently.
Okay.
Because Batman is really about, his view of the world was shaped by what happened to him. Same thing with the Joker. His view of the world is shaped by the things that happened to him. They have both experienced traumatic events in their lives that have shaped their view of the world. So that's why I say they're duplicates, right? Like they're just, this is how I see the world, this is how I view things. But the antithesis is the application.
Yeah.
The application.
Okay.
So the Joker shapes the hero that he is because, and I'll use myself as an example. Is I watch this show. I used to watch this show on TV. I still do sometimes. It's on MSNBC. It's called Lockup.
Okay.
And what they do on this show is for years, what they would do is just go from prison to prison, federal penitentiaries, county jails and things like that. The worst prisons in America.
Yeah.
And they would just give an inside look on daily life in those prisons and in those correctional facilities. And my children would ask me, Dad, why are you watching that show? And I say, because the only difference between me and the guys and the people that they profile in those prisons is one decision.
Okay.
So it's easy sometimes to get away from and to get comfortable with life, not realizing that one decision can alter everything. One event, again, the Joker, the Batman, one event altered their paths. But for that reason, all things being equal, and in that regard, they are. The only difference between the Batman and the Joker is a decision on the application of their lives. Batman decided, don't worry about that. Batman decided, I want to use this way.
Yeah.
I want to use this trauma this way. The Joker decided, I want to use my trauma this way.
Okay.
So the only difference between them is one decision. The reason, and this is why I go back to his indelible human spirit, right? The reason Batman is the superhero he is, and the reason he is so informed by his relationship with the Joker, is because the Joker is a continuous reminder of what can happen with one decision.
Okay.
Right? So that's why he didn't kill the Joker, no matter what, no matter how many, even after he killed his Robin,
Yeah.
he still did not kill the Joker.
Yeah.
Because given the Batman's own cycles, his own psychology,
Mm-hmm.
with his skills and his training, crossing that line, making that decision, would therefore make him like the Joker.
Okay. So there are two sides of the same coin, basically. It's just the flip of the coin and what decisions they make.
One decision.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. That does help me understand Batman better, though I'm still a Marvel girl at heart and will always argue for Iron Man. Is there any last words you'd like to say about Batman before we wrap it up?
No. I think Batman kind of speaks for himself. He doesn't need me to speak for him.
All right. Well, again, we want to thank you. So I am Garcia from Two Old Heads talking about important stuff. And thank you, Mr. Johnson, for all your information on Batman. And hopefully we'll have another conversation one day.
That's what I do.
All right. Thank you.